Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on page 161, and our objective of the day is, today I will add by using the place value strategy. Okay. So our objective is today I will add by using the place value strategy. In our last lesson, we did something called a draw a picture strategy. So today we're going to still be using our place value charts, and we're going to use some of the same strategies, except now instead of drawing our base 10 blocks, we're going to be actually using numbers. Okay, so let's look at our vocabulary, friends. Our first word is decompose, which we did in our last lesson. So this says to take apart a number and separate the ones, tens, and hundreds. And so it tells us 345 equals 300 plus 40 plus 5. Then they show us two of the examples. You can use these to help you, but I'm going to also show you when I model them, and then we'll do some examples together. Okay, then they remind us about two important words in addition, what the add-ins are and what the sum is. So let's do an example. If I had the problem 6 plus 4 equals 10, my add-ins are the 6 and the 4. Those are my add-ins. It's the numbers I'm adding together. And my sum is my answer. Sum is your answer in addition. Then they remind us about these two properties that we've talked about that say that we could group our add-ins different. We can put them in any order we want. Okay, so let's look at our steps today. It says first we're going to decompose the add-ins into ones, tens, and hundreds on our place value chart. And then it tells us we're going to add the ones together. You always start by adding your ones together, friends. It's really important. Then after, we can add the tens together, then add the hundreds together, and then we're going to rewrite in something called working form. Okay, so we're going to be using the place value strategy, but then we're also going to write our answer in something called working form on the side. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to show you my first problem following those steps. So they're really good steps. You might want to look at them as Ms. Munoz is working. Okay, so my first problem says 45 plus 53. So just like in our last lesson, a good strategy is always to put your place values on top. That's going to make you a good mathematician if you learn your place values. So ones, tens. Okay, so my first step says decompose my add-ins. So my first add-in has 5 ones. So I'm going to write a 5. I'm going to use numbers today, not drawing a picture. And then it says I have 4 tens. 4 tens is 10, 20, 30, 40. 4 tens has a value of 40. So I wrote that add-in. So let's look at my next add-in. It has 3 ones and it has 5 tens. 5 tens is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I'm skip counting by tens. Okay, so now that I have decompose my add-ins and put them on my chart, I'm going to start by adding the ones together first always. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I like to use this little counting on strategy sometimes. Sometimes you could use your fingers as well. Okay, what is 40 plus 50? 40 plus 50, well, we could say I have 4 tens and 5 tens, which would give me 9 tens, which is 90. That's a good way to look at it. I also could have said I could just skip count and add them. So if I had 40, I could say 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So I added 5 more tens. So what is my answer? 98. My answer is 98 because I add those together and that's my sum. So my sum is 98. Working form is I would have done it kind of without the place value chart. I still have my 1s and 10s, but I would have written it just like the problem gave me. So the problem said 45 and 53. So when I do it in working form, I don't decompose it. So what was my 1s? My 1s was 8, and what was my 10s? I had 9 10s. So my answer is 98. So this would be what we call working form. Okay, friends, so I'm going to go on to my next one. This one, they gave me 4 add-ins to add together, 4 of them. Okay, I'm going to do the same steps though. I'm going to first rewrite it, and the reason I like to rewrite it is because I want to put my place values on top. So I have 1s, 10s, 1s, 10s, 1s, 10s, and 1s, 10s. That's going to help me when I write them. So my first add-in has 3 1s and 1 10. 1 10 is just 10. My second add-in has 2 1s and 2 10s. 2 10s is 10, 20. My third add-in has 1 1 and 4 10s. 4 10s is 10, 20, 30, 40. And my last add-in has 2 1s and 1 10. So I have all my numbers decomposed. Now I'm ready to add the 1s together first. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if that helps you, friends, but that helps me do my counting on. Here I have 10 plus 20 plus 40 plus 10. So I could do the same. I could say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So the dots represented how many 10s I had. Or I could have also just looked at my 10s column, friends. So I could have said I have 1, 10, 2, 4, and then 1 and added those. Because if you notice, if I add those, I'll get 8 also. So what is my answer? 88. So my sum is 88. Now if I put this in working form is when we don't decompose our numbers. So I would have had 13, 22, 41, and 12. And we said my answer is 88. So that's what working form would look like, friends. Okay, let's do my last one. My last one, I only have 2 add-ins, but they're in the hundreds this time. But I'm going to do my exact same steps, okay? So I have 1s, 10s, hundreds. 1s, 10s, hundreds. Remember, that's going to make you a great mathematician if you know your place values. Okay, so this first add-in has 6 1s. It has 3 10s. 3 10s is worth 30. And it has 4 hundreds. 4 hundreds is worth 400. Okay, my next add-in has 3 1s, 2 10s. 2 10s is 20. And it has 3 hundreds. 3 hundreds is 300. Okay, so now that I decomposed my add-ins, I'm ready to add, and I always start with the 1s. So ready? 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have 30, 40, 50. Here I have 400, 500, 600, 700. And I also could say I just looked here at the 10s column and I have a 3 and a 2 equals a 5. And here I looked at the hundreds column and a 4 plus 3 equals 7. So what is my answer? Or my sum is 759. 759. If I was to put this in working form, remember working form is when I don't decompose the numbers. So I have 1s, 10s, and hundreds, and I just write the add-ins as is. So I have 436 plus 323, and what was our answer? 759. So this is what working form, oh sorry friends, this is what working form would look like. Okay, are we ready to try some of these together? We are. So our first problem, friend, I don't have my paper for some reason. Give Miss Munoz 1 second to find the correct paper. I don't know why I don't have that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, where did my paper go? Thank you for being so patient, friends. You are being so kind and patient to your teacher as she is finding her correct paper. I can't thank you enough for being so flexible. Thank you, friends. Here's my first problem that we're doing together, and we're on page 162. 162. Okay, our first problem says 36 plus 52. So we're all going to write it on top so we can do that good strategy of putting our place values. So we have ones, tens, ones, tens. Okay, so our first add-in has 6 ones. So let's put a 6 in the ones column. And it has 3 tens. 3 tens is 30 because it's 10, 20, 30 if I skip count. Okay, my second add-in has 2 ones. And it has 5 tens. 5 tens, if we skip count, is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we have 50. Okay, so our next step says we're going to start by adding our ones. So we have 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to add our 10. So we have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm adding 5 more. Or I could have looked at my tens column, and I have 3 and a 5 equals 8. So what is our answer? 80 plus 8 equals, they don't give us a lot of room to write that, equals 88. Okay, if we were to do this in working form, remember working form means we're not going to decompose our number. So we just are going to leave it as 36 plus 52. And what was our answer? 8 in the ones column, and we have 88. This is what working form would look like, friends. Okay, let's go on to number 2. We have 3 add-ins this time. So let's start by writing it. So we could put our place values on top. So we have ones, tens, ones, tens, ones, tens. Okay, our first add-in has 3 ones and 2 tens. 2 tens is worth 20. Our second add-in has 4 ones and 3 tens. 3 tens is worth 30. And our third add-in has 2 ones and 4 tens. 4 tens is worth 40. Okay, so now that our numbers are decomposed, let's start in the ones column. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I chose to use dots to help me count on. So we have 9. In our tens column, we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. We have 90. And I put 3 dots because it was 30 and 4 dots because it was 40. Or I could have looked at my tens column and said 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9. So my answer is 99. So our sum, or our answer, is 99. If we put this in working form, remember working form means we don't decompose the number. So we have 23, 34 and 42 are our add-ins, and our sum would be 99. That's what it would look like in working form. Okay, let's do our last one together. This time we have 2 add-ins, but we have a hundreds place. So let's write it. And when we do our place values, we have ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, now we're ready to decompose. Ready? 6 ones, 0 tens. So we could put a 0 or we could put nothing. We have 3 hundreds. 3 hundreds means 300 because if I skip count, I have 100, 200, 300. My second add-in has 2 ones and 5 tens. 5 tens is 50 and 100 is 100. Okay, so when we add, remember we're going to add over here first. So we have 6, 7, 8. And here we just have 50. And here we have 300 plus 100 is 400. So what is our answer or our sum? 458. Let's write that. 458 is our sum. And if we were to do this in working form, I'm going to need more columns here because now I have a ones, tens, and a hundreds. So working form means I don't decompose my number. So I have 306 plus 152. And what was our answer? We had 8, 5, 4. So our answer is 458. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day practicing these. Bye-bye.